Hello everyone, this is Mr. Joe. The title of today's video is An Open Letter to Democrats, or rather an open message to Democrats. Are you a Democratic voter? If so, I'd like to ask you why. Chances are it's what your family voted. That is, what your mother and father, whether you're a man or a woman. And it's my contention that no rational American has any business whatsoever in voting for the Democratic Party. Excuse me a second. Uh, let's look at what they stand for: abortions and transgenderism. Now, in the 1960s, the Democratic Party was a fairly legitimate good party. The party of the Kennedys, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King Sr., and other famous politicians. But then, after the 1973 ruling of Roe versus Wade, a very radical element, the abortion element, captured the Democratic Party, and this became their lead motive: abortion rights. A right is something that is listed in the Constitution. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say abortion is a right. It's a privilege which we have to vote for, whether we want it or not. Those who wanted abortion couldn't stand the fact that the majority of people rejected abortions and the state legislatures outlawed it, but the Supreme Court says, well, you can't vote for what you want. We find that it's unconstitutional to have abortions, and thus it was legalized for 50 years. In other words, legalized. The states could not vote against it. They could not say it's illegal in our state. It wasn't until recently, under Donald Trump, that the Supreme Court reversed this and said if a state wants to outlaw abortion, okay, they returned it to the states as it should be. But this isn't the way democracy is supposed to work. And since the 1980s, this radical left wing, first they started with homosexual rights, whatever that is, and then recently, past the year 2000, transgender rights. And I have nothing against anybody, how they live in their own house. If a man considers himself to be a woman, wants to dress as a woman, I don't care. But they don't have the right to compete in women's sports. This century and the last 10 years, we've seen something in America which we've never seen before, or in any other country, I believe, since the beginning of the world. Men competing against women under the name transgender. A transgender is described as a man who's not as a man, as a person who's been mislabeled at birth. Well, a certified doctor looks: either you have male organs or you are female, and you have the female organs. But it's incomprehensible to me how politicians could be pushing this. This has nothing to do with a healthy economy and a healthy country. As a fellow American, I say to you that the important thing is our standard of living, jobs, and keeping prices low. Inflation is a tax. Every time prices go up, we all get poorer. And politicians should be trying to create more jobs in our country and bring jobs back into our country, not pushing these two. One's a side issue. Abortion, I regard as a side issue, as a very unimportant side issue, which really has no place in for any government official to be pushing. But they want it, and it has nothing to do with your rights. Government officials want abortion because in the 1970s they were paying millions of dollars to welfare recipients, which they want to cut down on. And number two, millions of dollars in Social Security benefits to retired people. Now, how are they going to cut down on the number of people being born? They don't want to pass a law saying you can only have one or two children because this might lead to open rebellion. So they have the Supreme Court outlawing abortion, saying that abortion is illegal for all states to follow. That's how you do it. That's how you make an end run around democracy. The people, even most women, don't want abortion, but they can't stand to hear that. They want it enforced by the courts. Voting is no good anymore. And the other issue, transgenderism, shouldn't even be brought up at all in public. To me, it's absolutely incredible and a sign of insanity that anyone would bring this issue up. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota recently signed a bill. Well, not recently, a few years ago, signed a bill putting tampons in boys' bathrooms in the public schools. Now, I ask you, is this the sign of a rational person? When people become, especially politicians, become literally mentally ill, this seeps into our everyday language and literally becomes part of the air we breathe. And we don't recognize it as a mental illness anymore, but this is a mental illness. I regard people like this as legitimately insane to sign a bill saying tampons should be in boys' bathroom. This has nothing to do with any government function. The function of government is to promote the health of the people and to promote a good standard of living that we can all flourish and prosper. The Democratic Party, with its abortions and transgenderism, is so far out of touch that it's incomprehensible that they got 70 million, 80 million votes in the last election. I don't know. I didn't check on the exact count, but if you want to, I'm sure you could look it up. But I'm urging everyone to vote in the elections to come, either Republican or, and we need a third party. In the future, I'm going to make future videos for urging everyone to vote for an independent third party. It's my contention that unless we get an independent third and fourth party, different from the Democrats and the Republicans, uh, the country is literally doomed. We can't keep going on like this. First, people vote for one party, the Democrats. They don't like it. They voted for the Republicans. Now, the Democrats are going to be right back in office the next election, most likely. What the people rejected, and things are going to keep going down, and I mean down. They're dragging us down like the Nazis during the Hitler era, when the majority of people realized that Hitler was dragging everyone down, and them included, even the people who thought he was rational. It was too late to do anything about it. You couldn't oppose him. So the Democratic Party is a cancer, a malignancy in the body of the American people, which must be eradicated root and branch. They're doing tremendous harm. Certain broadcasters, most notably Bill O'Reilly, have noted this in a couple of their broadcasts. I don't follow every broadcast of Bill O'Reilly, but he said it in at least two of his video broadcasts that the Democrats are doing harm, which is right. And he's asking New Yorkers, what's wrong with you that you keep voting for them? Well, I'm asking you too, what's wrong with you? Why do you keep voting for these people? You have a choice. You have the libertarians and other parties to vote for. Get away from these people who are turning the whole country into their own sexual playground. Politics isn't a place for their own sexual fantasies. And if you haven't noticed, the Democrats are concerned with two sexual functions. Number one, abortion, terminating, terminating a life, and second, transgenderism. So it's time for us to get away from this. If you're an American and you care about this country, you can't vote Democratic in the next election. That's certain destruction for America, if not now, 10, 15 years in the future. Seek out a third and fourth party of your choice and vote for them. There are many good parties other than the Democrats and the Republicans. So that's my video for today. This is Mr. Joe signing off.